And I appreciate that travel multi-passports up, everything else down. It's the man, the myth, the legend. My name is Yesh. Salute to you all. Let me just say this. America doesn't have a single dating problem. America has a system problem. When the rules of family, money, culture, stability all change at the same time, people stop dating like it's romance and start dating like it's risk management. And when dating becomes risk management, everything becomes transactional, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. I listened to a story earlier on TikTok where a woman said she heard a woman in the store and she said she doesn't want to get canceled. She had to preface the video to say she doesn't want to get canceled. That's how afraid she is to tell the truth. She said she was in the store. She heard a woman saying, man, he's good. He's a good guy. But I need him to spend that money or else I'm not going to like him like that. She said, when is enough enough? Is this going too far? See, marriage is down. Let's start with the headline nobody can get away with. The CDC shows that the U.S. marriage rate has dropped. 8.2 marriages per 1,000 people in 2000 to about 6.1 per 1,000 people in 2023. That's not a small change. Y'all know it. That's a different country. And divorce is down too. 4.0 per 1,000 to 2 in every 2,000 to 2.4 in 2023. So what does this mean? It means fewer people are entering into marriage. And the people who do may be more marriage selective, or they're marrying later after more filtering. That's what they're doing. They're trying to brush through the weeds, so to say. See, dating got financialized. Now let's talk about why so many men feel dating is transactional, because money expectations still exist. There was a major survey found 65% of Americans expect the person who asks for the date to pay, and women are far more likely to expect that than men. So even if we preach equality, the default that women always fall to often still says, prove it. Then let's add in this, right? SSRS finds that 37% of adults have used dating apps and 7% are currently on them. And Pew Research shows that among singles and looking, men use the apps more than women. So men are doing more of their searching in the most competitive marketplace environment ever created. I'm talking about endless profiles, constant comparisons, and fast rejection. Men get it out the way. So loneliness isn't simple. It's a friendship recession. That's what I call it. The internet says men are lonelier than women. The best research says not always in a straight line. Pew found men don't necessarily report loneliness more than women overall. But here's the real issue: friendships. The American Perspectives survey found men with no close friends went from 3% in 1990 to 15% in 2021. So what's happening is just not loneliness, it's a collapse in male social infrastructure. And when a man's emotional support is thin, the relationship starts carrying the entire weight of his social life. And that can burn people out. See, men, the education and status, NCES, shows undergrad enrollment is about 58% women and 42% men. That matters because in modern America, college is still treated like a social sorting mechanism. But at the same time, men remain powerful in blue collar lanes. On site construction is estimated at 96.8% men. And the demand outlook for construction labor remains strong. So we're creating a split screen society. Men less represented in the classroom pipeline, but still critical in the physical economy. And that split screen affects dating expectations, identity, and pride. Now let's talk about Hispanic families and ICE enforcement. Major reporting shows that federal government rolled back limits on enforcement near sensitive locations like schools and churches. ICE's own protective areas page notes that courts, their actions affecting implementation, so the policy landscape is contested and shifting. But the human effect shows up in data. A peer-reviewed study found immigration raids coincided with a 22 increase in daily student absences. UCLA's survey of principals reports widespread fear impacts attendance, well-being, and school climate. So when people say ICE disruptions change families, it's not just feelings, it's kids missing schools, it's stress, it's instability, especially in mixed status households. Men leaving the country in the overseas dating claim. Now, do we have a clean government chart that says men are fleeing the U.S. to date overseas? No, we don't have that. Let's just be honest. But you know, we can prove there's conditions around that conversation that are clearly growing. U.S. outbound travel hit like 107 million international trips in 2024. Above even 2019. America has around 170 million valid passports in circulation. And passport issuances have been record level in recent years. And binational relationships show up in the fiancé visa pipeline, 47,579 K1 visas issued in FY 2024. So what's the nuance? We'll talk about it. Overseas dating can feel transactional for some men because They say the norms are clear and the pool itself is self-selecting, but it also comes with new risks: legal dependency, culture mismatch, and scams. And it's not a cheat code; it's a trade. That's what they say. So, what are men really looking for right now? A lot of men aren't even chasing love first; they're chasing peace. And peace means clarity. Peace means respect. Peace means effort that actually returns something. So it's not the going overseas thing toward peace, because dudes can have peace in the United States of America. They don't have to chase that overseas. They can just not go anywhere, be kaput in okay with what they're doing now. They could be okay with that. It's not an issue. They don't have to go anywhere. That's not what we're saying. So people ask, how much time are men spending teleporting on apps like Tinder, Passport, talking overseas while they're at work and they save money? The truthful answer is platforms don't publish U.S. men only numbers like hours per week. But we can still speak in facts. Tinder has said that the passports, right? That passport telefeature is used around 145,000 uses per day globally. That's a lot of money for Tinder. And reporting shows travel mode users can be significantly heavier messengers. Now, there's no official category of dating overseas remittances, right? The U.S. sends tens of billions overseas in remittances overall. But that's honestly most family support, not romance. So we don't even have those numbers. But we could say is sending money to romantic people online or people that you're interested in is common enough that the FTC has had to repeatedly warn about romance scams. So people often send money back again and again and again because they think they're helping someone they care about. You just better be careful. So yes, international messaging is real and money transfers happen. But the cleanest claim that all you need to take from this is it's measurable at the platform and fraud warning level, not across men sending money to foreign women. It's just clear. So I want to do a thorough dive without my conjecture. I want to just do this, right? Let's go down the line so y'all can chop and paste this towards somebody who's in the chat. Big Cap, what up, yo? No more relationships with me. There's too much work at my age. Travel quadruple force here. What's up, fellas? I'm trying he said I'm trying my last few relationships. Hilarious. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. Thanks for the thumbs up. Yeah, please give me some more. Share the stream on your live streams. We're going to go into numbers without my conjecture. So that way y'all could copy and paste this section of my live stream for people that want to hear this type of stuff. So we'll get the numbers in there. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you. Share the stream on everywhere. It's not football season. Basketball season is kind of shaky because they making you pay for all these platforms. You get one platform, you think you're good. They say, yo, you got to pay for 3 more just to watch NBA basketball. Man, I'm good. Thank you. Okay. So the U.S. relationship system is under strain, right? But it's not one thing. The man, shout out to Traveler Quadruple 4 in the Cash App. Appreciate your OG. He in there right now. Traveler, I don't know what that means. Traveler PO30E. Shout out to Traveler in there. He said they changed his name and he didn't want it. They just did it on their own. So you can't control these platforms. But shout out to Traveler. Appreciate you, man. He drops a load on the Cash App. OG in the building. Listen, family formation and marriage and divorce have shifted hard. CDC Vital Records trend, marriage rate 8.2 per 1,000 in 2000, the year 2000. It was at 8.2 per 1,000. Now it's at 6.1 per 1,000, 2023, and that's provisional. The divorce rate, 4.0 per 1,000 in 2000. Now it's at 2.4 per 1,000. And again, so fewer marriages doesn't automatically mean more breakups. Doesn't automatically mean more breakups. It also means later marriages, more cohabitation, and more people never marrying. Divorce falling can mean more stable marriages and or fewer people marrying in the first place, so fewer divorces to count. Transactional dating is real in this sense that money expectations are still here. 65% of Americans say they expect the asker to pay. Women, 77 percent say that they expect the asker to pay. Men, 52%. Online dating is now a main gatekeeper. 37% of U.S. adults have ever been on an app. 7% are currently using one. Among single and looking, men 50% are more likely than women, 37%, to be current or recent online daters. Women are online like never before. I don't know what they're talking about. When your dating pipeline is app driven, people start treating dating like a marketplace. Filters, fast rejection, endless options. That's not women bad, men bad. It's the structure, which is correct in some way. I can add more to that. I disagree in some of that. Loneliness. The story is not men are always lonelier. It's more specific. Pew Research in January 2025. Pew finds men don't report feeling lonely more than women overall. Pew also reports that 1 in 6 Americans, 16%, say they feel lonely and isolated. Wow. But friendship erosion among men is still documented. The survey Center on American Life, American Perspective Survey, found men with no close friends rose from 3% in 1990 to 15% in 2021. And young men can look worse depending on how loneliness is measured. Gallup World Poll reported by major outlets has found about 25% of U.S. men ages 15 to 34 felt lonely for much of their previous day versus 18% of women, and higher than many peer countries. Wow. So in the U.S., that's even bad for women because in the United States of America, they feel more lonely than women overseas. That's what I told you. It's a familiar structure overseas that's different. The family base is a friendship base, and they get along much more overseas because they have less, so they pull together more. Bottom line is you can say on stream, men and women may report similar loneliness overall, but men shows signs of a friendship recession. Is harder for men in the United States of America. That's why we're going overseas in the first place. Fewer deep ties, and young men can show up as a higher risk group in some measures. Education, men's enrollment fell as even as men hold ground elsewhere. In the fall of 2021, the undergrad enrollment Women 58%, that's 8.9 million versus men 42%, 6.5 million. Student Clearinghouse. In the fall 2023, undergrad enrollment rose overall, and men enrollment grew faster, plus 2.2% than female, plus 1.2%, but men are still the minority. But men are still making strides in construction, blue collar. That's broadly accurate. Construction is still overwhelmingly male in on-site roles. U.S. DOL, Department of Labor brief, estimated 96.8% of on-site construction workplace or workforce are men. BLS projects, construction laborers and helpers employment growth 7.7% from 2024 to 2034. Strong demand signal. The nuance, men can be down in college pipelines while still being up and or stable in trades where demand is high and credulating is different. ICE enforcement measures. Okay, we read that earlier. I don't want to get into that. Men leaving the country, the and or passport bros. They got that title in there, hilarious. What we can prove versus what's mostly anecdote. Let's talk about that. What we can show with hard numbers, Americans are traveling internationally at record levels. 107.7 million U.S. outbound international trips in 2024, plus 9.2% versus 2023 and above 2019. We know that for a fact. State Department reports that 170 million valid passports in circulation. That number's been like that for a minute. And record issuance years, including 27.35 million passports issued in the following year, 2025. Cross-border relationships exist in visa pipeline. We read that earlier, which is in 2024, U.S. consulate issued 47,579 K-1 fiancé visas, measurable indicator of binational couples forming. What we cannot honestly claim from good data, there isn't a single official metric that says X percent more American men are permanently leaving the United States specifically to avoid transactional dating. There is a strong cultural trend, conversation online, but the cleanest proof is indirect. More travel, more passports, and a steady K-1 pipeline, not a men fling census category. So shout out to them for telling the truth on that, because people lie and say most men are flying overseas. We know that's not. The nuance you ask for, right? It's not magic or selection. Men who travel are filtering for women who are open to foreigners, cross-cultural life, and often more traditional relationship scripts. Context. In many places, dating norms are clearer. Family involvement, courtship expectations, that can feel like less games. But trade-offs exist. Language barriers, power imbalances, legal dependencies, scams, culture shock. We know all that happens. We get it. But that's what I want to say. So I had to say that, had to come up here quickly in 20 minutes and do an overall breakdown of that. But man, I see I'm gonna start veering into other fields, other conversations, more political conversations in the future, more religious conversations, thorough conversations that I've dealt with, that I want to always get into. That's what I'm going to do. Is not going to. I've been doing that for over the last few years. That's why guys are running and don't want to listen to me because there's an expectation that I'm going to talk about the same, I guess, repetitive things. Everything is repetitive, but it's the sense of it being dryly repetitive. So I want to delve into more avenues. You see me get into my the philosophical side, dropping videos like that, encouraging. Those videos don't get views, but I understand. Again, I know where we're going with this. But let me just say this: to leave another country and come back to the United States of America after being in a place like Colombia is so refreshing. Let me just say this: if I can spend a lifetime traveling, I would. If somebody come right now and say, we want you to work with us and we'll pay you this amount, but everything is included on your going overseas travel, I'll do it. Most definitely. I'll leave tomorrow if the check is cleared. I like being on the road, man. Like being on the road. Don't mind the hotels. Don't mind the travel. Because we got the, like, especially certain guys in this field, especially that, when you look at, and again, there's reasons as to why people say he offed himself and people gave him credit and stuff like that. I want to be like, what is his name? Sharp, he done said so much. Matter of fact, when I get off this live stream, I'm going to watch, what is his name? Shopping Bomb, what is his name? That frog over there is more quite interesting. What's his name? Shopping Bomb? Or he had the most famous voice for the last past 50 years talking about animals and doing voiceovers and narrations, and I want to be like him. Yeah, that frog over there will get you. It will take your head off. And in the end, you will die. I wanted to be like that. I wanted to be like more theatrical and more scary for animals that you see. And then lighthearted when you do have the, but I just want to be like that. But he put in so much work. I think he's like 80 or 90 years old. He can't even talk no more, I don't think. He's so old, he retired. His last couple episodes was, what's his name? Schottenbaum. I gotta get his name right. That's a nice guy. That's who I would want to emulate. Not no what's his name? Um, yeah. He was for the last past 50 years. He's been doing this. No, not him. Who the hell is that? I don't know him. What's his name? Shopping Bomb. What's his name? I don't know this guy. I don't know this guy. Oh, David Attenborough. Okay, that's his name. David Attenborough. Salute to him. Y'all know who I'm talking about. David Attenborough. I like David Attenborough. What is this? Oh man, they always get these commercials, man. Always a commercial, always trying to sell you something. God, hey. It's like, bro, I don't know. Like, why would I do that? I bet you they have a commercial. I knew it. Always a commercial.
We can barely imagine a whale's life, let alone what's in their mind. One man is ready to try. It's a journey into the deepest thinking. He'll find intelligence.
See, that's a voice that's so famous. He don't even need to introduce himself. You already know, man. I'm hitting the big 7-0 this year. I started to feel it. Oh man, Traveler, shout out to the OG in the building. He hitting 70 years old. Man, he said he's starting to feel it. Oh, good God. That means you're ready to rest. And you know what rest I'm talking about. Don't go there. that, that means when you start feeling it, that means you're ready to rest. He's like, man, if I never see Traveler name in here, I would. All of these years I've been seeing it now for the past 3 years, 2, 3 years. I can't not see that name in here. That'd be crazy, man. That'd be crazy. He's been in here like, man, chilling. Damn. That's an OG for real, about to hit the 7-0. So shout out to all the OGs that I've ever met. Shout out to the OGs that I've ever met. Shout out to OG Watashi. Shout out to OG Will. Shout out to OG Traveler, Quadruple 4. Man, there's so many OGs that always say they listen to my travel talk. And shout out to all the OGs, man. Shout out to the OGs, man. He said, I ain't got time to rest. You moving your slow ass around. You don't sit your butt down. He's 70. He's like, but I know how that can get, yo. My pops is like that. My pops is like, what, 76? So my pops is up there, man. My pops is up there. My pops had us when he was late, bro. But most people back in the day did that. They had kids up until they was in their 40s. So it'd be that last baby when they turned 40 back in the baby boomer era. You like, why are you having a baby at 40? That's what all the dudes are doing in reverse. Yo, there's a I don't know if y'all saw that. There's a dude online, right? He got these women. He's called Breakfast something. And now he talk about polygamy and polygyny and all that type of stuff. And he's back again. This is a bastardized form of what it really meant back in the day. It's American style. Let me just say that. So he just invited August. They say she turned 19 years old, or 18. He just invited a chick. So now that's transferring from Instagram over to TikTok about how he took her 18-year-old in August, had her living with him. She turned 19 this August, or her birthday was December. Some people say her birthday was in December, and he had to come stay with him when she was 17, and then she turned 18. August, September, October, November, December. She turned 18 4 months later. They said her, I don't know, I'm reading the comment section. And then he got another woman in there who's like 29, 30. She just had his baby. He's trying to do this fake polygamy thing that he's saying. So the internet, women are on his head. This is crazy about it. They calling the parents. They saying he's messing with an underage girl. Women got a way to, when they're jealous, when they hate you, when they want to create this narrative, this sick narrative. This is why nobody care about what's happening in society. They'll do it. They'll hunt you. They'll get to try to call the locals. They have nothing to do with their time. They're not making any money. I don't understand how people are saying that women are just making all this type of money. They're not. Women are struggling. They're struggling. Women are struggling like never before. So it just cracks me up. So I'm lucky I had my 5 kids at an early age. My youngest are twins. They're 39. Damn! His youngest are 39. So his oldest are 51. No, his oldest, if he's 70, oh man, his oldest is 56. His oldest is literally 56. I remember they tried to do that shit. They tried to, what's that group? The guy's in jail for life now. He tried to go over to Costa Rica and start that polygamy stuff. They was calling the Costa Rican nationals. I would never forget that, bro. Bro, that was earlier. That had to been like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. They was calling the Costa Rican authorities on my man. He's out in Costa Rica, not bothering nobody, just doing the live stream. The way he was treating them, they was there voluntarily. Like that cracks me up. If people are there voluntarily, don't want to leave. He tell them to leave, they say no. And he's like, yo, okay, well, I'm your king. And they want to kiss his feet every morning. And the internet was livid. And it was all women. He was out in Costa Rica. I'd never forget that. I forgot his name. Some weirdo stuff. Some straight weirdo because they said he was doing stuff in front of kids, his own children. So I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. People say he got some X-rated videos to prove it. But he was supposed to be one with nature and all of that stuff. And I don't know. He's in jail, they said, for life. They mentioned him in the comment section. Uh, they mentioned a few other people I've seen do that. But yeah, he was in Costa Rica chilling. And he just went too far. He just went too far. He said my oldest is 46. Oh, I'm 10 years ahead. I said 56. But yeah, man, my brother is what, 51 or 50? Wait, how old am I? No, my brother 52 this year. Wow, that's crazy. My brother be 52 this year. So he's older than your children, Traveler. But so that's crazy. He was out in Costa Rica chilling. He was trying to broadcast live. He was asking for money. But the way you do it, man, you can't put what could be perceived as extreme and you trying to ask for money online. You just can't do it. I don't care what country you go to. If you put that you have this militant personality, the internet asking people for money, they're not going to accept it. So the way he was doing, the way he was treating them, then he's trying to placate to his lifestyle. Then he added a white woman on there. And I was like, oh God, now you asking for the authorities to come in. And as I said, I told my boy, I said, watch, they gonna come down. When that white lady went there, I was like, oh man, a black dude with a white, treating a white girl like that. They don't want to see that, not even on the internet at that time. Now, anybody can treat anybody any kind of way. Rich, I'm talking about 7, 8 years ago, it was still shunned upon because the internet, was still trying to grow in certain aspects. So once I saw that, he had that white lady over there, and then her parents calling authorities on my man, and I was like, oh, it's a wrap. And as you see, a bad attention, and Costa Rica kicked him out. He didn't even do nothing. But look how many Americans go to Costa Rica. So don't go to a country where it's heavily Americanized. That's the wrong thing to do. Definitely the wrong thing. Go to where a country says F America and F their ways, and we don't give a F what America says. Then you can broadcast from a country like that. But he went over to Costa Rica, which is heavily American. Again, I'm lucky my kids are happy that I'm able to travel and enjoy. Yeah, man, you should start going on cruises. Traveler, you start going on cruises, man. Go on them cruises. You old. Take your old butt on them cruises. Yeah, I be sitting there all day. People like, yo, yes, how do you watch this shit? Yo, everybody, Jay Clyde, all of them, Grego, Burt Ross, Mike, all them dudes rag on me like, yo, yes, how do you watch these cruise content? I just sit there and watch it. It's like, yo, they don't show nothing. They just walking around the ship. They ain't doing nothing. And I say, yeah, man, it's a cruise. It's a cruise. I love watching them dudes who go on a cruise and they in agony. They in agony because they dumbass thought they was gonna go on the cruise and it's gonna feel like overseas. With you going to a nightclub, I'm like, man, get out of here. Get out of here. You thought that was gonna feel like us going overseas? We was just in Colombia at a club in Medellin. It was called Lagoa. Lagoya or something like that. I forgot the name of it. But we was just at that club, just sitting there chilling, having a blast, drinking with the fellas, watching the women. So I'm like, nope, too many old people on those cruises. And you old. He's also too many old people on the cruises. You old. Oh man, hilarious. But yeah. So the cruises, man, I love watching those. Yo, there's one dude. He was sitting there in agony. He said, "Yo, I thought I was gonna come on here. Yo, what makes you think you're gonna go on the cruise? That's rare. All of that. What's that thing called where people find people? My bay, something cruise bay. And you think he thought because he saw these videos on TikTok, my man thought he was gonna go find his cruise bay. He found his cruise bay, all right. His cruise bay was loneliness. His cruise bay was lonely. That was funny sharing his videos, yo. Oh man, he was just so down and out that he paid money for a cruise. I'm like, he said, I still hunt, fish, fly, airplanes, and just live. Hey, traveler, there ain't nothing wrong with that, brother. Shout out to you. I know you still getting in there. OG Will Watashi still getting it in. So they your age. So I know they're a little bit younger than you, about 4 years, 3 years younger than you at times, 7 years younger. So they still getting it in. So, but if they old butts are still getting it in, I know your old butt getting it in. Look, ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh man. Somebody asked me, said, man, what's your most peaceful trip? I said to my Missoula, Montana was my most peaceful trip in my whole entire life. I never forget that. Missoula, Montana, when I met that Puerto Rican lady out there, she was in the military and was stationed in Missoula, Montana. That was the best trip I've ever had in my life. And it wasn't even international. And I was traveling then. That was the crazy part about it. I met her on Tinder as I'm leaving Brazil and stopping in Miami on my way to Atlanta. Ain't that crazy? Hold on, let me repeat. Yeah, it might have went over your head. I left Brazil, came back to America while I'm waiting on the airport. While I'm waiting in the airport for my layover trip to Atlanta back from Brazil, I met a Puerto Rican lady. Never told y'all this story. I never told y'all how we met. I met a Puerto Rican lady in the army, the military, dude, who saw my profile and hit me up, right? We connected, right? We start talking. She was like, I was like, how I get you and you in Montana? She said, oh, I was just coming from Texas. And I'm like, what? Man, I went to Missoula. Never told y'all this story. I need to put that in one of my autobiographies, the Missoula story. So I'm not gonna tell all what happened here, but let's just say that was the most peaceful. And that was the most, and I didn't care for the Puerto Rican. Yo, you know what's crazy, bro? I never told this story, but I never cared for the Puerto Rican lady. I never cared for her. It was the most selfish time of my life. I'm not even gonna lie. It was the most selfish, and I didn't feel bad about doing it. I just, all of the people that I met out there were so kind. Man, it was some of the most. I met a black dude. I told y'all heard this story before. Some of you. I met the old black guy. He was like 60 something years old. He was his wife was white in Missoula, Montana, and we went to go get a bison burger. That was crazy. I never thought I'd try a bison burger, but the food was wonderful. I was able to rent a car out there with no issues. I've never seen that where you land and they didn't ask you for nothing else. You get in a car rental place for less than 2 minutes. I was literally in a car rental place. They scanned my credit card and kept going. Missoula, Montana, the Glacier Mountains. We went up to the Glacier Mountains. The speed limit was 80 miles an hour. Hold on, let me repeat. The speed limit in Missoula, Montana was 18 miles an hour. That was the most peaceful experience, getting chased by a damn bear. That was the most peaceful thing I've ever had in my life, man. So I can't never, like, I can't lie. People say, well, I'm sure, tell me which is the most peaceful country you live in. I say in the United States of America. They say, what? Missoula, Montana? So people hate the truth, but I always tell the truth. I was in the Air Force for 6 years, traveled the world and visited most of the USA. I love Montana. Yeah, Montana was them some of the most kind people. I met indigenous American there. They look like my mother's skin tone, because my mother is indigenous. If y'all see my mother, that light brown hue, way lighter than me. My father's dark, so how they got together, I don't know. So they mesh well. But yeah, that's crazy, man. When you see all of that, man, and I talked to him. I said, man, I ain't dating a white woman. It's just so funny, man. When you go to the different parts of the world and how people don't care about race, they don't care about all, like, it's just their whole thing. And I told this before. The whole thing on the news was somebody started a fire. Every day, I said, this shit is on again? Every day, how somebody started a fire in somebody's neighborhood. So that was just weird. Man, I tell you, somebody, we had to go in there. She left her stuff from work. The girl I was dating, the Puerto Rican, was like, you go in there. I said, I ain't going in there. I'm a 6'7" black man jumping in somebody's window in Montana. I ain't going there. She said, nothing gonna happen to you. And I'm like, yo, get the hell out of here. The neighbors are watching. So a Puerto Rican was telling me to jump in the window. A 6'7" black dude who's darker than her, and jump in the window and go in somebody's house and open the door and get something that she left because they usually leave their doors open, but she locked her door this time. I was like, oh hell no. So, man, just all those stories, man. I got some stories that I traveled over the U. Everybody don't think we travel just because we go overseas a lot, but I gotta understand what it's about, man. This is crazy, man. It was a good time in Missouri. Man, Montana was the best thing was Sir Mix-a-Lot. The best event was Sir Mix-a-Lot coming to Missoula. They said, yes, you staying? Fuck no. I care about no Sir Mix-a-Lot. I said, now y'all gonna make me hate y'all town. So I was like, keep it the way it is. Don't think Sir Mix-a-Lot was the biggest thing, and he's still making money. He's performing all over the United States of America in remote areas. Shut up. I like big butts and I cannot lie. Or your brother can. I'm like, oh hell no. He's like Traveler Traveler Quadruple Four. He's his age now. Sir Mix-a-Lot is probably like 79. So I'm like, nah, I can't do that, dog. So that was their biggest thing. I got the hell up out of there. But that Puerto Rican lady, she had these little keloids all over her body. So if you ever meet a Puerto Rican with keloids over her body, you're like, did you know a dude named Yesh? And she gonna be like, yes. So if you meet a Puerto Rican woman, and I know one of you probably knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody with a Puerto Rican woman with keloids all over her chest and her arms, she just got this disorder. Pretty lady, but keloids all over everywhere. She said she tried to go to medical doctors. They can't figure out why that shit is happening. They go away and then they come back. Some of them permanent. But it was just crazy. When I saw that, at first I was like, whoa. You're not used to nobody with all them keloids everywhere, all over their chest and their arms. But some of them have been so profuse. Like, I was like, But they didn't bother me. I was playing with them things after a while because I'm sick like that. One dude said he was scared. This dude from, what country he from? Tell me he's scared of them big butterflies. Y'all know they got when you go to certain parts of the United States of America, they got these big butterflies that's the size of a bat. And some dudes are scared of them. I'm like, you scared of those? Man, take my shoe off and squash them. I don't understand these guys, man. These guys, I don't He was so scared of it and telling me, I can't do this because I'm scared of it. I said, next time, call me. And then after I do that, I'm going to put him in your pocket. I'm going to kill him and put him in your pocket. I just been through a lot of stuff. I ain't got time to be scared of a butterfly because it's huge. Who cares? Crush it with your shoe. Oh, man. But, yeah, so I appreciate y'all for listening. Travel Quadruple Four, thank you for donating, brother. Appreciate you. I rarely go live. So what I'm going to do, since Traveler Quadruple 4 donated, I'm going to go over to give some of my attention to TikTok since he donated. So y'all join me over there on TikTok. I got one video with Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco. That video has did 29,000 views, so, and growing. Hopefully we can get that video to 1 million views, man. He said, my parents were extremely white. When I brought my black girlfriend home in 1972, they said, she's gorgeous. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Do your thing, player. Do your thizzle. Yo, he said in 1972, what the hell? You couldn't even enjoy disco then. You was too young to enjoy disco. But yeah, let's go over to TikTok. My name is Yesh.Stretch. You know how to spell STRETCH. Yesh.Stretch Jonas. So go over there and join me over there on TikTok. Yesh.Stretch Jonas. Anybody know my old name was Brazil Yesh? All that is still the same and it still pop up. Let me go on TikTok for a second. Peace.